She's already enjoyed a successful career as an educator, legal scholar and trailblazing administrator. But today, President Obama nominated 50-year-old Elena Kagan to serve on the nation's highest court. The president said he admired her not just for her intellect and record of achievement, but also for her temperament. So who is she, and what does she stand for? Here's my co-anchor Terry Moran.
Vice President of the United States.
Joined by the president and vice president who towered over her, Elena Kagan took center stage at the White House as the next Obama Supreme Court nominee. And the president made clear this one is personal.
And my friend, Elena Kagan.
They've known each other for years, and clearly Obama is comfortable with his pick.
She's often referred to Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, for whom she clerked, as her hero. I understand that he reciprocated by calling her Shorty.
So she's not tall, but who is she really? That turns out to be a harder question to answer, for Kagan has been guarded in her views, but she offered a clue to her personality when she stepped up to speak for herself.
Through most of my professional life, I've had the simple joy of teaching.
She's a teacher from a family of teachers, and all her friends understood the family's commitment to the classroom.
I've known Elena since she was 12.
Jennifer Rabb is the president of Hunter College, which administers a grade school and high school that the Kagans attended.
Her mother was a beloved public school teacher, and Elena learned from that.
What she learned, in part, was how to excel in school and leave her mark.
In my mind, I can see where she sat in class. Believe it or not, after 30 years, there's certain students that just do that. You can still see them and you can still hear them as they talk, and she was obviously one of those.
So she's bright, brilliant even. Her aunt, understandably proud today, sure thinks so.
She's very fair-minded, she's very intelligent, and she's totally awesome.
Okay, but what else? What about her politics? Well, Kagan went on to Princeton, where she majored in history, graduated summa cum laude, edited the paper, and got drunk election night 1980, drowning her sorrows as the Reagan landslide swept liberals out of power. After Princeton, Oxford for a graduate degree, and Harvard Law School. She clerked for the liberal lion of the Supreme Court, Thurgood Marshall, and then she took up teaching, first at the University of Chicago, later Harvard.
What kind of grade did she give you?
She gave me a pretty good grade.
Jay Cox came to talk with us today. He's a former student of Kagan's.
Was she tough?
She was definitely tough. So most of our grade was based on short written papers that we'd turn in. She'd always sort of hone in on why is this sentence there? Why are you using this particular word?
In 2003, Kagan became the first woman to serve as the dean of Harvard Law School, and she shook the place up, changing the curriculum, hiring conservatives, calming troubled ideological waters.
You think she'd make a good Supreme Court justice?
I think she'd make a wonderful Supreme Court justice.
Why?
I think it always seemed to me that she was very carefully thinking about both sides of every issue, and especially listening to what people had to say before she came to a judgment.
But Kagan did generate controversy and outraged conservatives when she led the fight against military recruiters at Harvard in protest of the Pentagon's Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. And there's no doubt she's a Democrat, working both in the Clinton administration and now the Obama administration. But she hasn't left much of a paper trail. She's never been a judge. When asked about that lack of experience, she offered this.
I think I bring up some of the communication skills that have made me, I'm just going to say, a famously excellent teacher. Thank you so much.
Now Elena Kagan faces her biggest test, and she'll need a passing grade from the Senate to make it to the Supreme Court.